Greetings to you all. Thank you once again for tuning in. The Newman Show 2.0. Today we come and bring another version of what we have called for the last 8 weeks or so Wellness Wednesday. Um, Today we are now a week and a half away from our big health fair. It's called Disease Free in 23, all natural health fair and seminar. Keynote speaker Nathaniel Jordan, who is obviously our guest again today on Wellness Wednesday. Before we go fully into that, I do want to thank many of you. On Sunday, I took the liberty to do a commentary on Colorado football, Deion Sanders and his sons, and it was extraordinarily well received. And I suspect that some of you may have tuned in and viewed it, and it was very helpful, frankly, to get that kind of support. It was helpful for all that we try to do here and to speak truth to power and to bring you messages that will help you in your family, in your community, and in our world here. This morning at about 5:20, I was driving, and one of the cable news shows that I have on my radio, Sirius XM, it talked about President Joe Biden, talked about his wife having having come down with COVID, and it talked about him wearing a mask the first time in a long time. I think it was yesterday. And it just really brought full circle to me where the Minister of Wellness, Nathaniel Jordan, who is nothing short of a student of health and wellness and a voracious reader and researcher, something that he talked to me about in late May and in early June, even when I'd spent about 6 weeks in Las Vegas, and he was telling me that sort of through his research and connecting the dots, that we were going to be looking at another pandemic. He thought we were going to be looking at another pandemic somewhere in mid October, no later than the holidays, the Thanksgiving holiday, and certainly into Christmas. And candidly, I will tell you all, and Nate, knows that, I listen to those things, but I am far, far, far from someone who, thinks everything is a conspiracy. So I listened to him, and with my eyes and ears open. I've certainly learned that through his research, he is often correct and in advance of certain things when it comes to health and wellness and viruses that are out there. So this morning, and I was going to meet him. I was on my way to meet him at 5:20, and I hear this report about Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, the first lady, having COVID, or I think a new form of COVID, and then him wearing a mask, and then hearing that there was a 29% uptick in COVID cases, and that in a month or so, 6 weeks, perhaps 2 months or so, we would find ourselves possibly in the middle of another pandemic, which is what as I'm trying to share with you, which Nate told me 3 months ago, starting as much as 3 months ago. So needless to say, I saw him. I shared that information with him that I had just heard and was like, man, I know they call you Nathaniel, but we might have to have your name with an N on it, Notre Dame Nathaniel. I didn't want him to be right. I didn't want him to be right. I wanted to harass him and be like, oh man, see, you missed that one. Damn it. So Notre Dame, welcome to the Rock Newman Show and Wellness Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Brothers and sisters, you all know the 3 things you need to do. You must hit the like button, whether you're watching this now or after. Hit the like button, family, so that helps us spread. Also, sharing the video. If you know anybody, listen, if you're watching this, listening to our voices, and you know somebody that is not ready for a deadly viral outbreak, will you share the video with as many of your family, friends, and loved ones as possible? Because we're going to teach you how to survive. And then finally, if you're new, please subscribe to the Rock Newman Show 2.0 and the Minister of Wellness YouTube channel. And unfortunately, Brother Rock, the reason why I knew that I could speak with such boldness is because, Brother Rock, what did we do to change the root cause of why the COVID was killing everyone? What have we done? We looked at it, the COVID came out, everybody got petrified, and we started to get the numbers. The numbers started to roll in, Brother Rock, that this is a virus that is specifically targeting and killing people with weakened immune systems. And we can see that even with all the viruses throughout the centuries, where we see how related those viral outbreaks are to the strength or the lack of strength of your immune system readiness. So when we saw that come out, Brother Rock, what should have happened if we had health officials that were really righteous and really cared about the population, we should have asked this one simple question: why are our immune systems in this nation so weak? Why is it that 1 out of 3,000, they say Black people are dying from COVID, but then when you go to Nigeria and Haiti, it was like 1 out of 3 million? Why? Why is our immune system so weak? What are we doing to weaken our immune systems? Those causes should have been identified and eradicated. Identify what's weakening the immune system, eradicate what's weakening the immune system. Identify what can strengthen the immune system, and that's what you promote. So real health officials put a black box warning on anything that weakens the immune system. You put all of the money behind what strengthens the immune system. Did they do that? No. They just held the whole world on lockdown, wearing masks, waiting on a magical needle. And we see the results of that. So me as the Minister of Wellness, I look at that and I say, Brother Ryan, ain't nobody's dealing with root cause. Nobody's dealing with root cause. The health officials have sold out to Big Pharma. So this is going to happen again, and it's going to happen. It's going to be even worse the next time, because now what's coming next is it's going to be an uptick. It'll be even deadlier than what COVID was, meaning that if your immune system isn't operating in the top 10th of percentile, you won't make it.
Nate, if I can jump in right there, because I just have this thought, I have this vision that was so utterly disgusting, where the so-called leader of the free world, I don't even say his name. It's like I call him POS 45, who's sitting there in the White House, actually saying, this is not hearsay. This was this idiot of a so-called leader talking about beaming some kind of damn light up somebody's butt, or some kind of bleach to cleanse, that language that is just resonating with me now as you try to medically and with some common sense explain to people how to prepare to survive the dark winter of 2023. And I juxtapose that against that idiotic language that was coming out of the White House. It is just beyond sickening. I interrupted you to get that
he
in.
don't know
Please,
nothing
please
about health.
continue.
Yeah, he don't know nothing about health. I mean, there's photos of Donald Trump eating fried chicken and KFC and fast food. He's good friends with several CEOs of big pharma. So, anybody that was looking for him to be some type of savior, it was a horrible. They say that half of all black businesses failed, were completely shut down during, the so-called the lockdowns. So surviving the dark winter, the 3 keys, brothers and sisters, 3 keys, 3 critical things that we must do to survive. Like, share, and survive. So the number 1 key is what I'm about to go over here is knowledge about root cause and root solutions. Okay. Now, a part of that knowledge is a part of the knowledge that we're going to go over. We're going to go over briefly here, brothers and sisters. But of course, as Brother Rock has already mentioned, this is why we have been highly encouraging you all for the last 3 months to come out, because there are things that I can't say here that will be discussed on the 16th. That's just the way it is. I cannot put, Brother Rock's channel in jeopardy by saying all of the things that I will say September the 16th, because ain't no censorship there. So part of your knowledge in surviving, brothers and sisters, is making every effort to be there. You have 9 days. The ministerofwellness.com health seminars, the ministerofwellness.com health seminars. Get your tickets and make your way to the Capitol. So this is what they don't want to talk about. These satanic devils, what they want us to believe, Brother Rock, is that God was stupid. He made us with absolutely no ability to live within nature. He didn't create us with the ability to survive nature. He made us, he created us deficient so that we are as soon as a virus or bacteria or we get an infection, we're just going to die because he didn't give us what we need to survive. Or 2, in this era under the Europeans, they want us to believe that, well, we need to do better than God by creating this and this and this and this technology to inject in your body because he didn't know what he was doing. And so, of course, as the Minister of Wellness, I completely war against that religious ideology of the European medicine industry that is their responsibility to replace God because he didn't know what he was doing when he created us. When the truth is that God gave us an immune system. What you see on the screen, talking about the first key, knowledge. This is your key to surviving within nature. And we understood this for thousands and thousands or millions of years, how long you believe we've been here, whether it's thousands of millions of years or billions. We have always understood that how we relate to nature determines the strength of our immune system, and we have lost that knowledge. And this is the foundational key to understanding. And most people have never even seen a chart about the immune system. And this immune system right here, it is up to us on how we either strengthen this immune system or how we weaken it. And how we weaken it is through natural means, and how we strengthen it is in natural means. No one is born with a deficit of a needle. What we are born with is that these days we are born with a shot immune systems because the ignorance surrounding the critical nature of vitamins, minerals, and a plant-based diet concerning even pregnancy is so abhorrent that somebody sent me a video, Brother Rock, of a woman that's pregnant, not only eating fried chicken and fried rice, but smoking cigarettes on TV. So that baby doesn't stand a chance.
Wow. Wow. Nate, look, I'm looking at what you have here on the screen, the immune system. And I've heard, obviously, I think everything here: mucous membranes, lymphatic vessels, thymus, skin, bone marrow. At the risk, I'll tell you what, at the risk of being tedious, sometimes I like to understand, and I will tell people if it's something I don't understand, talk to me like I'm a dummy. You see those books that's out, Spanish for Dummies, Philosophy for Dummies, breaking it down to its lowest common denominator. We're talking about something here that is a potentially a pending pandemic that is going to sicken our community, that is going to kill people in that community. So look, if it's too tedious for y'all as we go through this here, I want to learn. So if you can just start and address each of these things and what it's for and how we can strengthen and how we can guard ourselves, in the boxing ring. I come from, obviously, from the boxing world. It's like, keep your guards up at all time.
Right.
What do we do to keep our guards up through this, unfortunately, what is starting to look like might indeed be what you've been calling it, a dark winter.
Yes. Well, understand that everything on this screen, all of these organs that you're seeing, are all made up of the building blocks of the building blocks of the body, cells and DNA. So everything on that screen is made up of cells and DNA. And our cells and our DNA, first and foremost, are directly affected by what we eat. Directly affected by what we eat. That is the first thing to understand. The strength of your cells to either be normal, strong, and healthy, or weak and deficient is first and foremost determined by what you eat. So everything you see, that's the strength of the immune system. Harvard Medical School, all of these, they all know this. They all know this is true, but they are intentionally trying to blind people from the fact that the immune system is, first of all, affected by external influences, the main one being what we eat and what we drink. So you see the mucous membrane, the mucosa, which functions is a part of the immune system. It provides, as you can see here, Brother Rock, the immune system is like the army. You have the armed forces, but you have different branches within the armed forces. Man doesn't create anything that God has not already created. So the military is nothing but a copycat of the defense system of the body. So this is your armed forces, and now you have the different branches. I was in the armed forces, but I was a Marine. Brother Avis, who is the producer of the Rock Newman Show, he was in the armed forces, Brother Rock, but he was Navy. Then you have Army, Navy SEALs, and so forth. That's what you're seeing on the screen. So the mucosa, their job in your body's immune system is to provide a barrier against foreign particles, captures them in sticky mucose, and clears them out. Immune cells and natural antibiotics in the muco. Let me say that again. Your mucosal, that mucosal membrane, contains natural antibiotics. You never hear that. Everybody think you got to go to the doctor to get an antibiotic. No, your immune system produces natural antibiotics if you give it what it needs, and it protects against pathogens while the lubrication defends against injury. But the problem is, Brother Rock, is that just like me and Brother Avis, we joined the Army. So we're in the Army. But if they just would have deployed us to go fight against the quote unquote enemy, me and Brother Avis, we'd have looked and said, hey, we need weapons. I can't fight without weapons. If you send me out without giving me what I need to fight, I'm going to die. It's the same thing with the body's immune system, brothers and sisters. You have to give your mucosal the weapons it needs so that when those foreign particles in the air, in the water, in the food, when it comes in you, it has the strength to do the job that I just named. It can capture those pathogens trying to make you sick and clears them out. What are the weapons for your immune system? We were given guns. We were given M16 rifles and so forth, and then we had to train. What are the weapons for your immune system? How do you give your immune system its weapons? You give your immune system its weapons primarily by what you eat. Primarily by what you eat. And I'm pulling up here on the screen the picture, the photo on the fruits. That's your weapons right there.
And Nate, at a very basic level, when you're talking about nature, and you're talking about divine, you're talking about God, no matter how or who you worship, what you're talking about is those things that really are natural.
Yeah.
And as I see this here, I just remember some of your promotional pieces that talk about let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And you're just taking it to the most raw, elementary level, the most simple level, that it seems as if because of the avalanche of advertising from the food industry and from big pharma, we just have gotten so far away from it. We don't even consider it anymore. We consider it strange if we're eating the food that's on this screen. Isn't that what a crisis that is? How diabolical it is that through the years we've been conditioned and culturized to look at nature's food, God's food and nourishment, and turn our nose up at it in exchange for a cheeseburger. Tough days, tough times.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, and I couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it better myself. This is our weapons. This is the weapons we need for our immune system. This is the weapons we need for our immune system. Without these weapons, what this on the screen can't do its job. This on the screen. So what happens, Brother Rock, is that with the satanic American diet, this garbage, what happens is that the mucosal membrane, when you don't give it the weapons that it needs, the immune system malfunctions by producing too much mucus. And too much mucus causes disease. So when the mucosal membrane is so important, because, and this goes into what the great, I shade to the great late ancestor, Dr. Sebi, may he rest in peace. This goes into what he was talking about, that all diseases come from excess mucus. Because if you're pumping this type of garbage into your body, the mucus overdevelops. Then when those pathogens come in, Brother Rock, it cannot clear them out because you haven't given it the ability. So the pathogens build and build in the mucus, and the mucus builds, spread throughout the body, and now you have a thick wall of mucus that is spreading disease throughout the body, instead of clearing it out of the body. And that is directly linked to what we eat, which is why, of course, Dr. Sebi, as you know, not even a medical doctor, and he stood before the highest court in this satanic land. And you see, and he was able to prove that by radically changing over the diet and giving the immune system the ability that it needs, he proved with case studies of success stories that he was able to heal people from advanced diseases. And Brother Rock, I believe I provided, about 7 testimonials that I've been sending you on a regular basis. I'm building my own arsenal of incredible testimonials.
I just want to say to the listening audience, Nate, how they're best able to find you, and I want them to find you so that find you on one of your sites, wherever you keep some of the testimonials, because I can sit here and ask you these questions because I'm trying to get informed myself, and I want our community to be informed, but I want them to hear what are very clear, sort of nonpartisan, if you will, objective voices about people who have listened to your teaching, listened to your preaching, followed your guide to heal themselves, and then been so kind and open to give a testimony about it. It ain't you saying it, it ain't me saying it, and it's not somebody, a PR firm trying to hype you. This is coming from real people who was real sick and got real well afterwards.
Yes.
I would like those that are listening to have access. So what? Just come to the Minister of Wellness.
Right.
Wellness.
Yes, sir. Right. Search for the Minister of Wellness
and look for testimony. I guess you got it under testimonials or.
Well, I have a whole playlist on my YouTube channel of those video testimonials I've sent you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I really would like for people to say, because if you want to see something inspiring, whether it was losing 120 pounds in a year and being stronger than a brother had been, whether it was someone just racked with the deficiency and where they couldn't open their hands, couldn't stand up, and now they're standing up. Folks, I want to encourage you to look at those testimonials. I don't want to keep interrupting you with the stuff, Nate, Nathaniel, but I just want our people who are listening to our voices,
yes,
understand the legitimacy of this, understand the importance of this, not be caught up into, the only thing I can do is to rely on Big Pharma to make me well. No, you can contribute to your own wellness by listening to some of this really biblical based teaching. I'm sorry, Nate.
No, I appreciate that, Brother Rock. And I want to show real quick because, of course, like you said, I mean, our time is limited, brothers and sisters. So I'm going to go over more information. But again, that's why we've been promoting this since June. But I do want to show people, give people an example of where they can find. And I encourage others because, unfortunately, this is just a small segment of the videos I have. Of course, we have Mama Jones, who will be there, Brother Rock, for September the 16th.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet her because she's in her 70s. I have friends of someone I played baseball with, man. And not only did he play baseball, he played football. He was tough as nails, and he's broke down now, man. He's broke down, having suffered strokes and heart attacks and all of that. Psychologically, he's a fighter. And I just got a note from him that he's fighting and feeling a little better, but he's going to be there. I would like for him to sit next to Mother Jones. I want to arrange that, man, because she is an example, would be as a lady, as a woman, would be an example to this former linebacker, man, who used to take people's heads off and prided himself on being tough, being fast, and is now just so severely broke down. But I know he can come all the way back hearing this kind of inspiration. So I'm gonna tell you, man, to the extent that I have something to do with it, I would like for them to try to sit together.
Yeah, yeah. And that's Mama Jones. Then this brother, he said, after 20
I'm gonna tell
years.
Mama Jones. I'm gonna tell Mama Jones in advance. I'm gonna be somewhere up there around the altar where you speaking, and if he get fresh, because he might get fresh, but wave a flag or something. We'll come take care of it.
Yeah, we definitely have to. Make sure they connect. Then this brother, he healed from ulcerative colitis after 20 years. Then this sister, thyroid disease, diabetes, mental health. This brother lost over 200 pounds. This sister lost over 100 pounds, reversed high blood pressure. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. This brother, he said the doctor yelled at him, at his brother. He said he went on a watermelon fast, healed himself of GERD, but then he said that his brother healed himself of high blood pressure, was on 4 medications, went to the doctor, and the doctor got mad because he was able to come off 4 medications. And these are the type of horror stories that we need, but they can be as mad as they want. So let's talk about the lymphatic vessels. I have an entire video, brothers and sisters, on the Minister of Wellness YouTube channel about the lymphatic system, which really is the true immune system. But the lymphatic system, it keeps body fluid levels in balance and defends the body against infections. Vessels, tissues, organs, and glands work together to drain a watery fluid called lymph from throughout the body. But again, you have to give your body the hydration it needs, for instance, from melons, for that lymphatic system, the second circulatory system, to be able to keep your levels of fluid low. If you are pouring into your body a high salt, high sugar eating style, the satanic American diet, what you are doing is you are pulling nourishment out of your body, and then it is holding on to the wrong fluids. So again, the ability for your immune system to keep your body clear using fluids and keeping your body clear from anything that can cause your immune system to weaken is dependent on the strength of what you are and are not eating. Then we have the thymus. The thymus is what makes white blood cells called T lymphocytes. And these are an important part, again, of your immune system, which helps to fight infection. The thymus gland grows to its largest size during childhood and makes all the T cells we need when we become teenagers. The cells, brothers and sisters, as we talked about with cancer, the life of your cell directly depends on specific important medicines that we find in food. And that is a whole nother lesson, Brother Rock. I'm going over just some of the components of how this magnificent, the Bible says we were fearfully and wonderfully made. Understand this. They don't even teach us, Brother Rock, that there are 2 types of immune system. The innate immune system and the adaptive immune system. That's how ignorant they've made us on purpose. Even what I'm going over here on the screen doesn't even touch. The best immunologist in the world will tell you that our understanding of the immune system is elementary at best, even at the highest level. Your innate immune system is what you see on the screen. This is where the virus comes, but your immune system is so strong that these components of your military work together to stop and overtake. The adaptive immune system is where years and years and years down the line, you could come across a virus, but as long as it is similar to a virus your body already encountered, it can still defeat it. And again, I can't go into much details on what I just stated the utter foolishness of believing that a simple jab, I'll say it like that, can somehow take the place of this incredibly complex system. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and it causes more harm than good. But that's an entire other sermon.
Well, you mentioned earlier, and certainly I appreciate it. You know, I believe strongly in speaking truth to power, and the best way that, from where I sit, I can speak truth to power is having a platform such as this, which at some point is subject to sort of the system's rules and regulations. And certainly I know what you're getting at, man. If you communicate certain things, we'll get some flags and be taken off the air. And I just don't think that's the best way to go. But it really causes me to reiterate what you were saying is please come out on September the 16th, because you're going to let it rip. You're going to let it all rip. And a big, big, big thank you for Revolutionary Church in Washington, D.C., Union Temple Baptist Church. A big thank you for Urban One for being our media partner. And I noticed today that Union Temple also has sort of a health initiative of its own that is going to be going throughout the entire month of September, in addition to specifically related to some men issues that are in the community, a prostate walk. So, you know, there are a lot of
forces. Yes, it is prostate awareness month too.
Huh?
Yes, sir. September, it is prostate awareness month.
There are a lot of forces that are coming together. You know, you have mentioned, you know, more than one time that this is the start of a revolution. And it is a sorely, sorely, sorely needed revolution that hasn't been addressed anywhere close to the way that I would have hoped it had been from, you know, influential leaders in every aspect of our existence. I just say, man, what, you know, without blowing any smoke, you know, thank God for you and thank God for what you're doing. And may you just keep on being blessed to do this. We're not done here. All right. It's not like I'm trying to wrap this up yet, because you got, you know, more to share. But those are my sincere feelings.
Well, I appreciate it, sir. And I'm going to go to the spleen because these satanic people, they, in their efforts to replace the Most High, they have told us that you don't need a spleen. And many people get their spleen taken out and then they're dead a few months later. And that's because your spleen is extremely important. And don't you ever let anybody tell you that something that God put in your body is not necessary. I just can't stand that. I just can't stand that. The spleen helps your body fight infection. Just as it detects faulty red blood cells, your spleen can pick out any unwelcome microorganisms like bacteria or viruses in your blood. Let me repeat that again. I don't think we understand. I mean, I'm thinking about special forces. I'm thinking about reconnaissance. I'm thinking about the parts of the military where they kind of go undercover. Let me say that again. The spleen, the job of your spleen is that anything toxic to your blood that attempts to come inside your blood, which is the life of the body, and cause damage, your spleen recognizes it, jumps into action, creates lymphocytes called white blood cells that then produces antibodies, special proteins that weaken and kill the bacteria, virus, and organisms. See, that's why it's stuff like this, Brother Rock. See, when I get in on September the 16th at Union Temple Baptist Church, see, this is the type of stuff I'll start doing the holy dance over.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Because that is amazing. The spleen literally sits back and is watching to make sure that nothing can come in our blood and pollute our blood. And when it sees something, the spleen releases its own weaponry to attack and kill whatever is coming into your blood. I don't know about you, Brother Rock, but that sounds very, very important. And so if that type of system exists in our bodies, and it has existed for millions of years through the divine, intricate, all-powerful knowledge of our Creator, who is a doctor whose education comes from men who just crawled out of a cave a few thousand years ago, what gives them the audacity to just tell people, oh, this isn't needed, we can just take it out of your body?
You know, Nate, as I hear you talking about the spleen here and being so passionate about what you're talking about, if someone had asked me, what does the spleen do? I don't really know. But so what did I do? I did something the old-fashioned way. I just Googled it. What are the three main functions of the spleen? It fights invading germs in the blood. The spleen contains infection-fighting white blood cells, basically what you just said. It controls the level of blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. It filters the blood and removes any old or damaged red blood cells. So for it to be recommended that is taken out, and its purpose is to be able to, that would be like saying, take out the gas tank. Take out the gas tank of your car and try to drive yourself down the road, because the gas is what goes through the car, you know, and gives the car its energy. Yes, okay. Let me let you continue, man. You're exploding my brain here when it comes to some of this stuff, man. But please proceed.
They're so arrogant. They are so arrogant. They're so arrogant. And even on this website that I'm reading it off of, these idiots are still trying to assure, after what I just read. Look at this. It says that another useful purpose of the spleen is storing blood. The blood vessels in human spleens are able to get wider or narrower depending on your body's needs. When the vessels are expanded, your spleen can actually hold up to 1 cup of reserve blood. Why? Because if any reason you need extra blood, for example, if trauma causes you to lose blood, your spleen can respond by releasing that blood that it holds on to back into your system. But they still telling people you can live without your spleen. They set this whole thing up, Brother Rock. They set us up. They give people food that they know weakens the immune system. They know it. They know it dumbs people down. They create mental illness to sell psychiatric drugs that cause side effects, including suicide and homicide. They give people food and poisonous water to weaken the immune system. They manipulate viruses escape in labs, targeting people with immune system that they intentionally weakened. This is the vicious curse that we are under. And so destroy the spleen, take it out, then these morons are talking about, I mean, it's not vital. If it wasn't, does that sound like something? So the spleen, in case you need it. So if you fall down, Brother Rock, and you start bleeding, your spleen has a reserve of blood to help you recover, but these idiots are telling you you don't need that. So
man, oh man, you know, I'll tell you, I keep taking these leaps of my experiences, and I remember rushing to a hospital in Southern Maryland. My, at the time, 74-year-old sister, she's now 86, but I remember her going to the hospital and she had chest problems, and they immediately admitted her because they were very concerned that she was having a heart attack. And I went into her room, and there was the hospital plate thing. I was hungry. She said, she didn't want to eat. I pulled the damn top off the tray, and it was roast beef. Pot roast, French fries, and looked like some little shriveled up vegetables. So I called the head nurse. I said, "You're concerned that she had?" I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutrition expert. But you got pot roast and gravy and French fries. That can't be good for a heart attack victim. So this industry that you're talking about, man, these are tough times. Keep doing what you're doing, brother.
I want to finish up on the tonsils, because they rip the tonsils out too. Yeah. Do you still have your tonsils?
I do.
Okay, that's interesting. How did you survive that? Because that's a $1 billion industry, ripping people's tonsils out.
Well, you know what? I can tell you one thing. I can tell you my mother said more than one time, she called me two things. She called me hard-headed, and she called me mannish. And there are a few times along the way, and she said I talked too much. I was going to get myself hurt, get myself in trouble. And more than one time, she said you wouldn't talk so much if I had taken your tonsils. I had them to take your tonsils out, but something she knew not to do that.
Wow. All praises to the Most High for that. Because this is $1 billion industry. This is another organ that these devils say that God just willy-nilly, drinking a 40 and just put some tonsils in us that don't need, that have no redeemable purpose whatsoever. That's what they tell you. That's what European by the way, the founders of European medicine were all racist. They all hated black people, and they still are worshipped to this day. Just like Brother Rock, you're a historian. You could go down the list of all them racist presidents that ran this country. Yep. That people still worship and bow down to. They were all racist.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yes. They all hated black people.
Founding
fathers. And so as the minister of wellness, I could do the same comparison with the fathers of the current medicine system that we're under. Yeah. I could do the same thing. They were all racist, wicked white devils. And so the tonsils, the tonsils are right there very important. They're right there at the throat. Their job is to stop germs from entering the body through the mouth or the nose. They contain a whole lot of white blood cells. So the tonsils, when you open your mouth in this polluted world that we live in, your tonsils' job is anything that you breathe in, it is supposed to attack it and kill it and not let it enter into your body. The reason why your tonsils become swollen and you let these devils rip it out is because, again, you can't have a military without weapons. You're not giving your tonsils what it needs to clear the germs out. You're not giving it what it needs. And when you don't give it what it needs, it swell up. And instead of, if you have swollen tonsils right now, don't you rip your tonsils out. They're right here. And as I'm talking, Brother Rock, my tonsils, because this is a polluted world we're living in, my tonsils are activated right now, stopping anything that's trying to take over me. But I give it the weapons that it needs because I'm eating the way I should. If you're eating this garbage, your tonsils don't stand a chance. This is the root cause. But the corporations that produce this immunity destroying garbage, they control the world. And the ones that they don't control, the religious institutions, they have made it so addicting that people are too ashamed to talk about the seriousness of food, because how can you talk about how food is related to mental illness when you like donuts? How can you talk about how food is really the biggest killer of black folk when you love to sit down and eat a steak? So that's what we're fighting. The food addiction has made people ashamed because it's just like somebody preaching against crack on crack.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't focus on this, because unfortunately, like I mentioned a few weeks ago, even arguably the greatest black leader of all time, arguably, there's many, but some will put Frederick Douglass way up there. And even he, Brother Rock, after he got done with a lecture in Washington, D.C., died of a massive heart attack at age 73.
Yeah. It
is the greatest weapon of mass destruction that our people have ever faced. And so knowledge is the first key, brothers and sisters, to surviving the dark winter. The second is to eat your fruits. Giving your immune system the weapons it needs to fight. And that first and foremost starts with what is it that we can feed our bodies to heal. And of course, we don't have time to go into all the different, it's amazing how the medicines that God put in these fruits directly help the immune system. Directly. And they know this is true. That's why they're taking the nutrients out of the soil. That's why they're taking the seeds out of the fruit.
Yes. So, I bragged about on Facebook, man, of finally finding a juicy, big red watermelon with black seeds, and it was like getting a needle in a haystack, man. I drove around and around, couldn't find it at any of the stores, and found a brother who had come in. I think he had come in with his pickup truck loaded down with South Carolina watermelons. And my God, it was the best thing that I've had in a very long time. And literally, when we get through now, I'm gonna try to see if I can find them again.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm at the trying to cash app you, because I need some myself. But yeah, this is number 2, is eating your fruits, brothers and sisters. And of course, I will go into more details on that. This is just a snippet of what you're going to get September the 16th. We're 9 days away. Get your free tickets. The Minister of Wellness. Yes, we need you to register. The ministerofwellness.com health seminar. Get your tickets. It's free. And then the third component is making sure that we're not deficient in any nutrients. They're stripping the nourishment out of the soil on purpose. So unfortunately, brothers and sisters, the third key at this time is that it is a necessity that we take the necessary supplements. It is necessary. And so as we come to an end, I do want to remind everyone that I, the Minister of Wellness, this is my most important package that I have to offer for the immune system. This is the most important one. The immune system herbal extract contains a powerful herb called astragalus. At the height of COVID, I could not keep these in stock. I give you 7 bottles for 50% off. I am advising everyone, to the best of your ability, to make sure you have a stash of this powerful herbal supplement in your natural medicine cabinet for yourself, your family, your friends, and loved ones. So that's the third key, is wise supplementation for now. until the next pandemic comes, brothers and sisters. We have plenty in stock, ready to ship. So this is the time to go to the ministerofwellness.com and get your 7 bottles for 50% off. And then also, if you have any comorbidities that is weakening your immune system, I have a Black Health Disparities package where you can get the fat loss, blood pressure, immune, blood sugar balance, and reduce inflammation, covering all diseases for half off. So get rid of those diseases. That will boost your immune system. And then take extra herbs to protect your immune system, brothers and sisters. And the ministerofwellness.com. We also have the critical vitamin D3 with K2, zinc, vitamin C, and other important supplements for your immune system. Get your knowledge, learn about your body. That's my job, is to feed you knowledge. Knowledge is power. Eat your fruits and fill in any holes with proper supplementation, especially herbs. And those are the 3 keys in a nutshell. Much more on the 16th, but in a nutshell, those are the 3 keys to surviving the dark winter slaughter that's coming.
And let me say, as we close, I am absolutely humbled whenever someone tunes into the Rock Newman Show 2.0. We don't take it for granted. You got I know you have a whole lot of things that you can be doing, and you take the time to tune in to hear our voices and to experience what we're trying to do. And I'm humbly grateful for that. Go in peace. We'll see you the next time.
Okay, thank you, family. God bless you all. Like, share, like, share, like, share. Subscribe to the Rock Newman Show 2.0 and the ministerofwellness.com.